Alright guys, and this is a long play review for Alien Storm on the Amstrad CPC, released by US Gold. Not always a good sign because most of their arcade conversions to the Amstrad were pretty crap, but this isn't bad. And obviously Alien Storm was released in the arcades in 1990 by Sega and was reasonably popular, but it was it's basically a scrolling beat 'em up under the guise of like alien shooting weapons, when really it's more derivative of games like Golden Axe, but with some Operation Wolf style shoot 'em up sections as well to sort of space out the action and make things a little bit more interesting. And of course we're going to take a look at the arcade version first of all, give you a good comparison, and we're going to let the sort of the demo sequence run for a bit here, because it actually gives you a good coverage of the various aspects of the game. There you go, some big aliens there. They drop energy canisters, and you can use that for special weapon. There you saw sort of the ship flying across and collect energy. Every couple of levels or so it moves to sort of Operation Wolf style sort of shoot 'em up section, as you can see here. And there's even some sort of like running sections where you just like shooting your gun, blowing up various big aliens and other nasties in your path. Although strangely, actually in the main sort of game, the laser weapon only shoots like a very, very short distance. Why you can't shoot across the screen, I do not know. Yeah, so basically sort of three different sort of gameplay styles in one game. There's the intro, which is also replicated on the Amstrad version. And obviously guys, pay attention to like the graphics, the presentation, and music as well, for when we get to the Amstrad version. 3 characters you can choose from: a robot, a lady, and a bog standard guy. I'm not actually sure if playing as different characters really makes any difference, if like one moves quicker than the other or one has like a bigger weapon. Certainly the special weapons look a little bit different, but probably do exactly the same job. So here we go. So we've got scrolling left to right. What appears it might be a shoot 'em up, but really it's more of a beat 'em up. Instead of like, you know, doing kicks and punches, you've got like a short range laser weapon and gun. The gun only sort of shoots downwards, strangely enough, and you can do like forward rolls and double tap your direction key to like run as well. Although I think running is not implemented in the 8-bit versions on the Amstrad Speccy. Some sampled speech here and there. But yeah, actually, I mean, it's basically these levels kind of like basically Golden Axe with like a new skin. Just replace like the laser sort of gun with an axe or a sword, and the creatures with various dragons and demons or whatever. And you've got Golden Axe. But it's not long before you reach the end of the level, and we're going to go into that food and drink shop there, and then it's going to switch to an Operation Wolf style shoot 'em up, which is actually quite fun actually. But there's like no creatures you can jump on and ride like in Golden Axe. Anyway, there we go. Go on to level 2. And obviously blast away as much of the shop as possible to reveal energy canisters, which will power up give you more power for your special weapon. Whenever you use it, it goes down in small chunks. So you might want to save using the special weapon to later levels. Because there's a few big end of level bad guys, which, well, there's only 2 of them and it's the same creature each time, I think. And that's the end of the first mission. There's 6 missions in total. The 6th final mission just being sort of one shoot 'em up level against the big alien brain. and then it's game completed. But 5 missions, usually with about sort of 3 or 4 levels at least per mission. But they're relatively short and very easy to die as well. So there you go, that was the arcade version. Let's move on to the Amstrad version. This was released a year later, 1991, sorry, by US Gold. Programmer was Doug Anderson. He also did UN Squadron conversion on the Amstrad, which was actually pretty good. Really nice looking, well playing game, if a little slow, but very nice conversion, as is Alien Storm. But I do feel it has very limited gameplay. Nice title screen sequence though, just like in the arcade. And the music's the same in the as in the arcade as well, but there's no music in game though, sadly. Got a 2-player option as well. I haven't tried the 2-player option, whether it's a simultaneous or taking it in turns. I think it's simultaneous. I don't know if it's horrendously slows down the game or not. But yeah, the music's pretty good, so we'll let that run out for a bit. Now you can see, guys, the video is nearly an hour long. I'm not going to commentate throughout the entire length of the game. I will say that the ending sequence, which there is one, if a brief one, it's sort of, I don't know, I've got slightly tongue-in-cheek. You get rated by various Sega characters for your performance. I don't know how the ratings worked out, but look out for that at the end, just like in the arcade version. There you go, 3 characters to choose from. We're going to play as just like the default main character, Gordon. But a nice presentation of graphics so far, and also some new music for the character select screen. So we'll just hear a little bit more of that. And let's get this started. Mission 1, Stage 1, and here we go. And obviously the graphics have been and sprites have been shrinked quite a lot, and obviously a little bit more blocky than the arcade original. But this does look and feel like Alien Storm. Got all the various weapons animations, which look pretty good actually, especially the laser beam there. Very nice background graphics, very colourful. Oh look, we can do a forward roll there, which looks nice. I think for the first few missions, guys, I'm going to take things very carefully, because I'm going to try and save as much energy and credits as possible for later on in the game. I didn't know how tough the later stages were. I only really played through the first 2 stages and I thought, like, yeah, I can probably complete this. So I take things very carefully. Usually by taking a couple of pot shots on an enemy, then moving off quickly before another enemy comes down and gangs up on me. It's just like a beat 'em up, really. You'll have 2 enemies sort of attacking you at the same time. Usually one of them's trying to get behind you, one of them's in front of you, like so. So really, it's usually about sort of 2-3 hits to sort of knock an enemy down, or an alien. But by the time you've got a couple of hits on an alien, another one's crept up behind you, so you have to be really quick and careful. So I do take things quite gingerly to start with. It might make this long play a little bit sort of boring. And you might find me sort of utching up the screen little bit by little bit, because sometimes the further you move on, the more enemies will be triggered. So I'm just trying to make life a little bit more easier for me. There isn't really any sort of surefire techniques to sort of clear the screen of enemies. Just have to take it really easily, and unfortunately this makes the game rather sort of frustrating and a little bit dull. Really want to just dash through the level, blasting away, having a great time. But on these conversions, you sort of taking it very, very easily, getting a couple of sneaky pot shots in, moving off, and it doesn't make it very fun. And the fact that you got all these like awesome weapons, you know, got your laser gun and a shooting gun as well, and you can't really use them apart from a close range, a close distance or whatever. It just doesn't feel as fun as like using like punches and kicks like in a proper beat 'em up. Initially you feel you should be in sort of a scrolling shoot 'em up with these kind of weapons, but you know, pretty soon you realise, well, this is just a beat 'em up. And very strange they've chosen to do that. I mean, like on this stage, here we go, this is the Operation Wolf style game. You got a big gun with a long laser, but you can't use it in any of the levels. Why not? I don't know. But yeah, this plays really, really well and looks quite nice. Well, for the Amstrad. Nice colourful graphics, the laser weapon looks good, things move smoothly, controls are responsive, if a little slow, and certainly with a little bit more enemies on screen, things do tend to slow down a little bit. But yeah, obviously blast away as much of the scenery and like shells here as possible, because they may reveal energy pickups. As far as I know, I don't think you can replenish your life bar. So yeah, if you're taking hits and stuff, don't expect at the end of the level to have your life bar restored or anything like that, or any sort of health pickups. Once you've lost that energy, that ain't coming back. So you're relying on your 5 credits, and yeah, you'll need them. Things do get a little bit tougher. There we go, just blasting away the remaining shells there. And there we go. That's the end of the. I think that's the end of the first mission. Cool. And on to mission 2. Now, these are my least favourite alien bad guys in the whole game. They are extremely irritating because, well, they move so quickly, and they're very quick to attack you as well. So I think this is really where the long play starts getting really boring, when these guys are on, because I'm just taking little pot shots here and there, desperately trying to not lose any energy. If I found a better technique for getting rid of these quickly, I would use it. I mean, obviously you got your special weapon, and that will clear the screen of all enemies, so I could use that, but I'm saving it up. But as I get on with this game and sort of progress, I start to care less about being careful. Certainly, I think by mission 4 and 5, I'm just sort of getting through it as quickly as possible. I've saved up plenty of credits, I've got plenty of energy, and if I get more than 2 of these like annoying little green creatures, or these creatures, the greenbacks or whatever, that run around the level. If I get about 3 of them, I'll just use my special weapon and get rid of them, because I got sick to death of them, little buggers. But yeah, some really nice animation. They've obviously got quite a few frames in there. If not, a few more frames would have been nice, especially when you're doing those leaps. But you know, the sprites move nice and quickly and smoothly. They're certainly quite well drawn. If a little blocky, but hey, that's mode 0 on the Amstrad. If you want those lovely colours, then you're going to get the chunkier pixels, and I like chunky, colourful pixels. Why not? Let's have everything bright and colourful, not in like 4 colours and high resolution. Always looks a bit dull to me, especially if it's an arcade conversion, which the arcade original was nice, bright and colourful. Well, let's use mode 0 on the Amstrad with more colours, but chunkier pixels. You can see me here just like utching along the screen bit by bit. That's me using my special weapon there for the first time. Nothing brilliant happens, the border flashes, and then all the enemies explode on screen. In the arcade version, sort of a big ship appears and blasts away everything in its path. But that will do. So yeah, and really, I mean, perhaps you're finding this long play a bit boring now. And I was beginning to find the game a little bit boring and frustrating myself. I did enjoy the Operation Wolf style shoot 'em up levels, and there's a running level coming up shortly, I think, as well, which is pretty good fun as well. But they've done a lot right in this conversion, and they've certainly done a good job of emulating the arcade on the Amstrad and getting as much in there as possible. And the presentation has been really good so far. And we've got nice scrolling levels which play well. Controls are pretty responsive, occasionally tiny bit laggy at times. It's hard to pinpoint when. But programming wise, they've done a really good job. I think the shortcoming to this game was already apparent in the arcade original. I just wish you had a little bit more length on like your laser weapon. You'd have to be really still quite close range for it to register a hit against an enemy. And you almost have to be almost exactly horizontally in line with them as well. So perhaps a little bit more leeway could have been given there. And it's just perhaps not as fun as it could have been. I don't know whether Alien Storm was a huge success in the arcades at the time. I think it was a reasonable success. But I don't think this was a huge seller on the 8-bit market at the time. It was 1991, and really the 8-bit full price market was beginning to wind itself down. I don't think US Gold really pushed this game a lot. Should have done, because it's actually quite well programmed, and you know, I can't be too mean against the game, because the programmers have tried hard actually and put a lot of effort in there and plays a reasonable game. It just ends up a bit sort of monotonous and dull. Come on, it must be the end of the level now. No, there's more of them. Ah, just use my special weapon. But yeah, the enemies tend to attack if you spend too long on the same horizontal plane as them. So that's worth remembering. Oh, and this is the running level. Where you've got a gun basically firing constantly, and then you use the fire button to jump. Because the bigger red aliens there, they sort of basically fart on you and drop gas on you. And yeah, this is reasonably fun. Just don't know why you can't use your laser shooty weapon in the main part of the game. Might have made things a little bit more interesting with aliens with more projectile weapons or something like that. But hey, that was the case in the arcade original. So they're trying to keep it faithful. There you go. I mean, that's pretty much the game itself. There are some end of level boss encounters. I think on the next mission, where we got a running level, there's a sort of an alien spaceship you need to shoot. Yeah, and there's a big nasty alien boss as well later on. And then we've got the final encounter against like a giant alien brain. And that'll be the game completed. So I think, guys, I'm going to leave my commentary here and review. I hope you enjoyed it so far, and I hope you like the rest of the game. Some more interesting stuff and level layouts do appear. Oh yes, of course, I think in missions 4 and 5 you get a choice of routes through an alien ship, so you get a choice of 2 paths at the end of a level, and some will progress you further into the mission than others. So obviously I've used the quickest path there, just to spice things up as well. So there you go, guys. A decent conversion. I can't really fault it on graphics, presentation, animation, music, sound effects are decent if limited. Everything moves quite fast and smoothly. Occasionally a little bit of lag, sometimes with controls, but not often. Otherwise it's quite responsive. But a good package all around, and a brave attempt at the arcade original. They've tried to cram in as much as possible, so they do get high marks for that. But ultimately, though, the game's pretty repetitive and dull, and it's just simply not that much fun, especially in the main sort of beat 'em up levels. You do get a beat 'em up and a shoot 'em up in one game. So I think overall, guys, I'm going to give this game. Oh, I'm hovering between a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. But I think I will give it. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10, an 80%. I think that's fair. So yeah, hope you enjoy, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, bye.